What up, peeps? Tony Baker here, back with another movie review. This time I'm reviewing the latest collaboration from Denzel Washington and Spike Lee. It's called Highest to Lowest. Denzel and Spike Lee, man, they go back. This is their fifth collaboration. Their first collaboration was Mo Better Blues, about a jazz musician. Second collaboration was the epic Malcolm X. The third collaboration was the movie He Got Game. The fourth collaboration was the movie The Inside Man, and now we're back again. So anytime these two get together, it's a good time, man. It's one of the best director-actor pairings. Scorsese and De Niro, DiCaprio and De Niro, Denzel and Tony Scott, Denzel and Spike Lee, man. Listen. And I like how vastly different those films are. When you look at More Better Blues, it's about a jazz musician and, you know, his love life and just trying to navigate through that. You look at Malcolm X, which is arguably one of the best, you know, biopics of all time. And Denzel Washington arguably gives one of the best performances of an actual living person. And unarguably, he got robbed of an Oscar for it. You got He Got Game, which is a total shift in tone when you compare it to Malcolm X or Mo Better Blues, when he's like a troubled father coming out of the penitentiary so he can recruit his superstar son into the NBA to go to a certain college. Well, not the NBA, but to try to get him into the best college. And if he can do that, he might be able to get out of jail early. And then you got the Inside Man, which is a crime heist film, but it has that Spike Lee flair on it. And now we got Highest to Lowest, and it's a movie about Denzel, who is, you know, he owned and operated a thriving record label. And so he's coming to a place in his life where he doesn't know if he should sell the label or does he want to revamp it and keep it like for himself. So he's making moves within, you know, his circle to buy out his partner in a higher share. And he just wants to keep the label going rather than just completely being bought out to a bigger label that wants to absorb it. Because once the bigger label absorbs his label, then that's when, even in real life, whenever that happens, whenever there's a merger of record labels, that's when you hear about artists' like projects going to shambles. Either they get shelved or, you know, the label doesn't focus the same on their projects. It happens all the time. So he doesn't want this to happen to his artist or to his label. So he's having a change of heart and he wants to be like, yo, man, I just want to get it. I want to revamp my label. That's what he wants to do. And so, you know, he got to wheel and deal and get the money right for that. His wife is played by Elfanesh Hadera, that you may know from The Godfather of Harlem. Jeffrey Wright is also in this as his right-hand man and driver. And, you know, his son is Denzel's godson. Denzel and his wife have a son who's a teenager. He's into basketball. And the story pretty much revolves around their son getting kidnapped and held for ransom. And so they're just trying to figure out how to get their son back. And A$AP Rocky is also in the picture. Aspiring rapper who orchestrates the kidnapping. So that's essentially the storyline of this movie. There's an interesting plot twist there. There's like, oh snap, it's going down like that. I don't know if y'all really want me to address it. I'm going to address it anyway. This is going to be a spoiler review. So if you don't want to hear the spoilers, man, get the hell up out of here. I'm giving you the warning now. So in The Highest to Lowest, his son and his best friend, who's Jeffrey Wright's son, they're both at the same basketball camp. Denzel's son gets kidnapped. He gets the ransom call, and they're just like, yo, they kidnapped our son. They wanted $17.5 million in French, Deutsch, whatever's, $17.5 million, or your son is done. So everybody's like panicking. And then Jeffrey Wright is like, yo, where's my son as well? You know, what's going on? Because they're both missing in action. So they sitting there, like, he got to get the money together. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, man, we got to get our son back. So here's the rift. Shortly thereafter, they find Denzel's son. So what happens is they kidnap the wrong boy. They kidnap Jeffrey Wright's son instead of Denzel's son because he was supposed to be wearing the green headband. His son, they swap out the headbands and then they got the wrong kid. So now Jeffrey Wright is like, yo, man, my son, man, he all I got left, man. My wife already already passed away. Yo, but Denzel energy changes. Like, yo, I don't know, man. I don't know if we got the money for that. So it's a weird dynamic. It's like, yo, now that your son is safe and secure, like mine is expendable. You supposed to be my boy, my family. So it's like that type of situation. And he's not in a position to pay anywhere near that. So it becomes a situation of, yo, my son is back. What do we do, man? Because I really need this money to revamp my label. And so you get this whole dynamic and this heavy thing of just like, what's the next move? Because a lot of people, when you put people in a situation where themselves or, you know, their immediate family is in the clear, that's when they be like, well, hey, man, I'm sorry what happened to your son, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a lot of money. Now it's a lot of money. So for me, and this movie made me very emotional. Like I wasn't expecting to get a wave of emotions the way that I did, because I was just putting myself in that situation and seeing like, you know, your oldest son get kidnapped or your only son, and then what that would do to a parent. And then I was just like, I was in there crying tough. I was getting a wave of emotions because, you know, I'm a father. You know, if you don't know me, I lost my oldest son a few years ago. So I was just really emotional. I was in there just crying. I was just like, yo, because for me, it's a no-brainer. For me, I'm like, yo, I'm paying the money for my godson. I needed every cent of that to do on my label what I had planned to do. But in this situation, I wouldn't be able to live on myself if I didn't put that money up. You know, and so we come into these whole dynamics, and then, you know, fast forward, they do the right thing. He's like, yo, man, we're going to pay to get your boy, man. And so Jeffrey Wright is just like, yo, man, I'll pay you back. He's like, how you going to pay back the 17 point? You know what I'm saying? So they do that, and then, you know, the crime ensues, and the cops are involved, and, you know, they're just trying to get the money delivered to the kidnappers. And what I like about this film, and what Spike Lee always does, he makes New York a character in this movie. New York is very much a character in this film. And you know, Spike Lee is a diehard New York. He is New York. And so the city is very much a character in this film, which I appreciate. I just appreciate a level of style and signature from filmmakers, and Spike Lee gonna give you that signature. And so I feel like he does better when he can give you his signature. Sometimes he misses the mark. He's missed the mark several times, but in this, he's bringing that. He's in his familiar wheelhouse. We're like, yo, we in New York now. You know what I'm saying? And so I love that aspect about it. A$AP Rocky was good in this too, as the aspiring rapper, kidnapper, and so it's just like, oh wow. Okay, I see why you did it, and you know what I'm saying, all this good stuff. So it was just interesting to see Denzel navigate these different emotions of they kidnapped my son. I'm desperate to get my label back going again. What are the ramifications if I don't put the money up for my godson? What does that look like? How am I disappointing my friend? Jeffrey Wright's character. Jeffrey Wright going through his own emotions about losing his son potentially. And like those whole dynamics make you just question things. Then you just like, you're having a reaction to it like, yo, I would do this. What you mean you can't? So it brings that into play. And then a certain dynamics of how the masses would respond like to, yo, if you don't put that money up, your label's cooked anyway. Because ain't nobody gonna fuck with you after you just let a boy die because you ain't want to put the money up. And so all these different dynamics come into play. I thought it was a dope film, man. I thought it was a dope experience. It was something that, even though it's a remake of a Japanese film, or I think it's a Japanese film, it was just an interesting dynamic, man. I was invested all the way through. You'd be like, what would you do? How would you handle it? And then you started like, yo, why didn't you do this? Or why would you do that? And so rooted in like an interesting dynamic of, it's just a play on today's music game too. So you got those elements in there as well. So I just thought it was a dope film all the way around, man. And once again, Spike Lee and Denzel, they're undefeated. They're 5-0. But forget all that. You want to know the smooth jazz review of highest to lowest. Well, here it is. Oh, yeah. I'm giving highest to lowest 4 saxophones out of 5, man. Spike and Denzel have done it again, man. It's a good watch, man. It's a good watch. And I love how Spike Lee just made New York a character, man. He took us right there to that Puerto Rico Day parade, man. It was just. I love New York, man. Matter of fact, the building that Denzel lives in was the building me, Brandon Lewis, and Keenan Baker were looking at when we were walking across the Brooklyn Bridge to go get pancakes and biscuits. And we looked at that building, and there was a dude on the balcony looking down, like, look at him, rich, just looking down at us. Cut to, that's the apartment from the movie. All right, peeps, that's my review of Highest to Lowest. Let me know what you thought of the movie in the comment section below. Also, how would you rank the Spike Lee, Denzel Washington collabs? What's your ranking, man? I'll give you mine off the top of my head. So I'm gonna go the best collab was Malcolm X. That was just. Number 2, I would say Inside Man. Number 3, I'm giving it the Highest to Lowest. Number 4, I'm gonna give it to He Got Game. Number 5, Mo Better Blues. That's how I'm ranking it right now. I gotta rewatch Mo Better Blues though. But they all good. 5-0. Denzel and Spike, they done it again. But let me know what you thought in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as usual, we out here.